Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of the New Earth Love podcast. This podcast, as you might know, is here to build a bridge between the masculine and the feminine and to build more trust and understanding between each other and through that creating more peace and love in the world. And as you notice, I'm here with a man today for the very first time with brother Abz that I met recently. And you will figure out why I'm sitting here with him.
We will figure.
Yeah, we will figure it out on the go. I'm very happy that you came on this short notice.
Thank you.
And very excited what's going to come because the topic is really, really juicy. And I'm not going to spoil it for whoever is watching or listening. Let's just start with a quick check-in. This is how I love to do this podcast. Just like really, how is everybody feeling, and then transitioning gently towards the topic. Would you like to start? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling generally today and in the past few days cautious about my boundary. I notice I am not going for long hugs. I have been feeling in my body a push away to some people. Like yesterday, I experienced that. I went to a kirtan, and there was all of these people that I know, some of them like close friends, and and my body would do this, like when you bring magnet, positive and positive. And when we were playing as children, and they push away from each other, that feeling. And I am inclined to listen to this recently because I was in contact dance. I think I've seen you once there at Paradiso. Yes, I did. I saw you at the cashier. We didn't know each other. And we said hello. You were paying and I was coming in. And you said hello and I said hello. Yeah.
Wow.
And on that dance, I had a nice experience with a friend, a female friend. She was doing some work with me. I was feeling tired. And then she hugged me and I went very deep. It felt like I was on some medicine. And I could feel that I'm an infant, like 2-3 months old. I'm being held by my mother on her chest, feeling safe and nice and warm. And then suddenly I started to feel this fear and anxiety in my chest. And I noticed that it's coming from her. And I didn't feel safe anymore. And I'm going through this experience, but there is like a higher self saying, that was then, she didn't know how to deal with her emotions. Now you can take care of yourself, you can take care of little you. And I was like, yeah, okay, conclusion done. And I'm walking out of this interaction with this girl, and I see a friend, a man, that I know. By the way, I did not plan to tell this story at all. But that's where you asked me how I am. Interesting that we went to this story. And he was looking at me while I'm interacting with her, and he was looking at me while I'm leaving. I felt he wanted to say hello. So I go and hug him, and I felt trapped in his hug. I felt like he went for it, and then he started to do some energetic stuff, and my body was like, no, this is not what I need. And it was in the guts mostly. And I was pulling away slowly, but he kept on, and then I finally got out of it. And that night I got a food poisoning. Not from food, like just like a food poisoning. I was vomiting and fever. And then when I was sleeping, I was seeing all of these memories of me being, as a kid, I don't know if this is good for this setting, but we are here now, of being sexually harassed as a kid, and where I couldn't protect myself. And like I was having nightmares, like all in the night, and fever and sweating, and I'm having these nightmares. And then higher self comes, it's like, I'm sorry, I did not protect you then, I couldn't, but now I can.
Wow.
And I kept, I heard that, and I kept repeating it to myself, and I started to feel better. And at the end of that night, that shitty night, I promised myself I will take care of, because although we are one, and like it's really, we are one, like I can hug anyone, everyone is me, everyone. But the body has memories of what has happened, and it can punish. So I am still, 2 weeks later, I'm still in that space. I'm very cautious with my physical boundary. Yeah. I even told that friend. I was upset. I was like, "You crossed my mind." He's like, "No, you didn't show me that you wanted the hug to end. If you showed me your boundary." So now I show it.
Right.
Someone coming to, I'm like, "No, I don't feel it now." Yeah.
Powerful.
And in that sense, this is not usually a man problem. This is usually a woman problem. Maybe in that sense, in some aspects, I'll represent the feminine in this setting.
I resonate a lot with, like, thank you so much also for sharing so vulnerably straight from the start. I love that.
Yeah.
This is really what we want here. Raw hearts showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what just came to me while you were sharing, it's like you can give a hug and you can take a hug.
Yeah.
Do you give a hug to someone, or is it like, I need it, so I pretend that I'm giving it to you, but actually I'm taking energy, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we could like talk longer about this, I'm sure, like many topics.
The hug etiquette.
Hug etiquette.
Yeah, it's a bit, in Ubud, it could be a useful workshop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also the power of saying no and owning your yes even more. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else you want to share about now?
Now I'm complete.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
In this moment I am complete.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Of course. I'm feeling right now very joyful and in the very right place with the right person, and super curious and happy and just yeah, like this feeling, you know, of synchronicity and flow when it's like, yeah, this is supposed to happen and I'm in the right moment, and I just love when these moments come to me. It's more and more, obviously, also in living in Ubud and trying to follow this thread of bliss or excitement in my life. So I'm just very happy, and I'm feeling a lot of trust with you, even though we have met like 2 times, 3 times maybe.
Yeah.
And this is really
2 official times.
2 official times. Yeah, this is always fascinating for me because I have some people that I know like for a longer time in my life, and I don't feel that level of trust. And yeah, synchronicity is a word that comes again, just like being on the same page with things. And yeah, I see you as a big reflection of me, like very strong guy with a masculine core, but very attuned to his feminine side and to his vulnerable side. And this is really why this is going to be a freaking juicy podcast. I have this feeling. So the topic that you were actually bringing to me, which is why you're sitting here as the very first man ever in this show, which is amazing because I never planned that, but you were bringing it up, that competition, or like what was the, how did you bring it into the space? Womanizing was the topic.
Can I remind you?
Yeah, you please go.
So I have this friend who works in the same field. He coaches men, and he was saying that when a woman comes to a healer, and then the healer missteps, like because the woman is experiencing maybe some healing through meeting some sexual energy, suppressed sexual energy or something, and then the man feels drawn to that, and then he crosses the boundary between healer, therapist, and
lover,
or sexual harassment or rape. And it's common, right? And it can, like in this space, it's very, very, very sensitive, but it can be like expanded to yoga teachers in public classes, to even fitness coaches, because like these people come to us knowing that they should, if they want to benefit from their money worth and their time worth, is that they drop all the guard. And when they do, we should hold their boundary for them.
Yeah.
So he was saying that the reason these men do that is not because they did not heal with women. Maybe they did. They did not heal with men. And he was saying it from his perspective, which I still don't understand. But when he said, I had an aha moment. I was like, yeah, this is about competition. Men do things for men. Even approach women for men. They build muscle for men.
Mm.
They buy nice cars to show men.
Mm.
Even if they say I buy nice cars to have girls, well, both are for men. Like you can see, like like it's not as alive as when I told you 2 days
No.
ago.
It's beautiful. I think we're just tuning into the topic.
Yeah.
And there was also something from today where you felt that I'm just gonna recap like the way I understand it. So that many times we look at, especially also in that podcast, which is why you're here, how can we heal the trust and understanding between men and women, because we are different creatures with different way of communicating, and how can we build a bridge there. But that sometimes that there is a disruption in between men and women that's actually not caused by their relationship, but with a third party, in this case with other men.
Yes.
And this is really something that was not on my mind before you brought it up, and which is why I love to bring it into this space here.
Yeah.
And I would love to discuss with you like what might be the reasons behind it, and how can we actually transition to a more healthier, happier world, basically. With compassion and love. Yes. So I remember when you came in here today, you mentioned that there was some kind of a competition feeling you had today. Do you want to tap into that?
Yes. So this morning I had a workout. The Saturday workout is a partner wood. So you partner with someone, and there is a general like not written agreement that we will try to finish first. It's not there, but there is a clock and the time is running, and there are these number of reps that you need to do.
So working out in the gym.
Yeah, and working out in the gym with a partner, and we're like, it's a group workout. So there is like 10 teams, 20 people in the gym, 2 people, and there is this set workout of you do this, you do that, you do burpees, you do box jump overs, you run. And there is a general like consensus that we will try to finish first. Like everyone has this consensus. But some people do it playfully, and some people approach some men approach it with so much aggression. And one was my partner, who was like, come on, man, you can do it. And that's not why I go to the gym. Not anymore. I used to. Whenever I subscribe to that, I would feel horrible afterwards. I would feel like I finished my energy. I borrowed from the energy of the future. I get injured. I try to approach it as either a space for interaction with someone I like a friend, like we can play and encourage each other and laugh, or as a meditation. So I could be doing the reps with eyes closed, just listening to the music. And this guy bothered me, and he bothered me beyond the healthy level. So I think there is still a trigger, like what I told you, right? Like I was like, wow, there is a trigger there.
Yeah.
It's not just that I prefer to be cooperative than to be competitive. No, there is something. And one thing that comes to mind is that my dad competed with us. He would always tell us, when I was your age, I did this. When I was in the same school grade as you, I did blah, blah, blah. There is that. And having had the childhood I had, which was the environment was full of sexual harassment, because I grew up in segregated society, as in men and women were not interacting.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like a prison. So that also can create a lot of mistrust with men, because the man can approach like a friend, and then it's even tough until now. It's tough for me to talk about it. Like I start talking about it, and I feel,
of course.
And there was no one to talk to. Who can you talk to? And the only person I could talk to is my mom. And if I did tell her about anything, she would just stop me from going outside. So I cannot go play football. I cannot meet friends. Like just life would become even worse. I'd rather be alert and ready to run or ready to fight. There was an instance where I broke a glass bottle and I was ready to stab them. There was like 3 big guys. Yeah. I prefer that to just staying at home, because I'm active. I want to do things. Yeah. Yeah.
Big topics. Wow.
Big topics. Yeah. So in that sense, I relate to women. When women talk to me about, I have a lot of female friends, and it used to bother me. And it used to bother me because of the competition. So I am very, very, very comfortable having female friends. Even my mom was my friend, and she used me to that purpose, not knowing, in an unhealthy way. Like I became kind of responsible for her. So she would complain about my dad to me. She would complain about her brothers to me. She was always complaining about men.
So you were the substitute
Yeah.
partner, so to say.
Yeah. I was. And even when I disappeared, I took myself out of that and out of her life. Kind of. I'm still in her life, but now my younger brother, his name in her phone is my father.
Wow.
And my father's name in her phone is our father. So there is like some messed up stuff there,
wow.
right? Yeah. And my brother is coming through, is fulfilling the void that she has about that. Like he is showing up as her father and as her husband. He is, which is for them to sort out.
Yeah.
I'm just observing. Like, how did that affect me? That's what I want to get to. Right? That's what we want to get to.
Yeah, so it's I feel like so many topics opening just like from touching this, like how competition between men is relating to men-women relationship and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's just I feel there's gonna be more about that topic on that podcast even.
Yeah.
And
so there is something I strayed away. I'll try to stay like on one line. I'll try.
Yeah.
So I had female friends. Yeah. All like my adult life, I have female friends. Now I'm not in a segregated society anymore. I got out of the city where I grew up, went to another city, got a job, and I have all these female friends. And the only reason I would want to have sex with them or with her is because my friends are bugging me. My male friends, they're like, "Oh, you didn't do anything. What's wrong with you?" And it creates so much pressure. And I'm like, I'm happy in this space. But this pressure comes, and of course, like when I was 24, 23, I didn't have a solid understanding of myself at all. So they would say this, and I would start to question what I am doing, what I'm naturally doing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So then I would start to become toxic to these women, right? Like I would start, like we have this feeling that we are friends, and we're like, there is this connection. And then suddenly I start to like be sexual, and it probably broke the trust. Like I wish I would meet them now and be like, I'm sorry. I didn't know better. And sometimes, of course, I did not surrender to the friend pressure. But there was instances where, especially with the presence of alcohol, right? And it was not needed. Like no one needed that.
It was just for the performance, just for the ego. Yeah.
So then I can go next day, and I remember this feeling, like staying in that. I remember that next morning when I would just WhatsApp or BBM, BlackBerry. I will BlackBerry all my male friends. Yeah, check this out. So this is what I meant when I was sending you that voice message, saying that competition can be the reason for a lot of the mistrust between men and women. Competition between men.
Wow, I definitely hear you. Something that I'm just picking it up and like spinning it further. Something that's coming up for me is the other side of it, where I also have personal experience of like a woman that I was either in a relationship with or not, doesn't matter, wanting to have sex with me, and me not able to say no if I was not in the mood, because it's not a manly thing to not be in the mood.
Yeah, and that also can break the trust, right? Yeah, because they feel
it can break the trust, and also it can build up resentment because it's my responsibility to say no if I feel a no, right? And it's kind of self-abusive to play along when I'm not feeling it, right? Yeah. And I've talked to multiple men about that, and it's quite common.
It is.
There's like, yeah, you are already on the third date with this person. Maybe you don't even know if there is a romantic attraction or if you just want to be friends. But because it's the third date, especially in certain cultures, then it's like, okay, we should at least kiss or do something with it, right?
I need to take home something. Like,
yeah, wow.
Am I gay? Yeah, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, that's another thing. The fear of being perceived as gay as a man.
Ooh, big fear. Ooh,
wow, that's another big one to open, right? And how even when we are straight, to desperately try to prove that part so that we are accepted, which is the essence of love, right?
Yeah.
That we are accepted in this, in the peer group, in the society we are in.
So I can hang out with the boys.
That's right. Yeah, you should, or if you're like an emotional person and you sometimes cry, then you should at least have like a hobby like kickboxing to balance it out or whatever. Like, there's a lot going on there in the competition side.
Yeah. And I remember the guys gossiping about a guy who's soft. I was always soft, but never showed them. I was always like, I would watch a movie, I would cry. Like if it's like it's okay for me, but never showed my man friends. Women, I was okay with that. And I remember them gossiping about that soft guy. Maybe he's gay, he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gay, we should stop hanging out with him. And you start to be like, I don't want to be that. That's rejection, you know. That's like so out of the group.
So powerful. Wow.
Yeah. And I would be like, no, he's just an emotional, because I know I'm like him. No, maybe he's just an emotional guy. Or maybe if you like him, you should go fuck him.
Oh. I think, wow, like something that becomes very big to me right now is that I think there is a cultural program for men. In order to be a man, you need to do stuff.
Yes.
You need to prove your value as a man.
To join the club, you know, this exclusive straight manly club.
Yeah, like a man without a mission is not a man. You need to like, or like in the essence, like if we go all the way down, it's like your being is not enough to be lovable, to be accepted, to be good enough. It's like you need to do something to have some kind of value. And the moment you subscribe to that, the competition starts. Because if I am what I do, then the more I do, the more I become. And the better I do in comparison to others around me, the more I become.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So powerful, right? And I think I mentioned that in this podcast already once. I had maybe 4 years ago, I had this moment where a friend of mine, actually a woman, was holding me in the process. I was watching a movie with her and with another friend, and this was just when I started some therapy myself, and like stuff would come up from my subconscious mind. I was like, oh, like some contraction in my body, and like
in the movie, like while watching.
While watching, yeah. So I asked, can we stop the movie? And I just need to feel what's going on. And my friend, she said like, yeah, just come here. So I was laying down on her lap. And she guided me through a process. She's also a hypnotherapist. And so I had a deep journey, doesn't matter what it was about. And I came back out and I was looking at her and I just said, wow, thank you so much. But because she basically, instead of watching the movie with me, she just improvised a therapy session and going deep, right? And then, so I thanked her and she looked into my eyes and she said, do you know why I did it? And my mind was coming up with stuff, you know, like, I didn't speak, but so my jaw was like, huh? And my mind was like, because I gave you a massage earlier, because I brought food to the party, because I did this for you the other day. And like nothing what was coming out that did make any sense. So I just stared at her with my open jaw. And she looked into my eyes and she said, Ra, just because you're a beautiful person. And I started crying straight away again, of course. And that was really a game-changing moment for me to understand because at that moment I knew her for like maybe 2-3 months. She was not a close friend at that moment. So if this person can give me that amount of love and appreciation just for me being, I didn't even understand what that means in that moment. My being is appreciated. I didn't have a definition, an idea of it, because I was constantly collecting trophies and putting them on a shelf and trying to become someone by becoming a book author, by having this amount of clients, becoming more and more famous on YouTube and whatever. Just like, I need to achieve stuff so that I'm finally lovable. So subconsciously, all I wanted was just to belong and to be able to rest. You know, I think this is really behind many achievements that especially men try to gain, because we want all the same thing: love, belonging, and peace. And there's something they call, you're a sportsman, so maybe you heard about the horror vacui. That's a Latin term. like imagine someone is running a marathon and becomes first and even breaks the world record, and they're realizing that, and they're bursting into tears and collapsing on the floor because mama still doesn't love you.
Yeah,
So, right?
The realization when you hit the, like you reach the moon.
You hit the maximum that you could possibly achieve.
Yeah, and you understand there's nothing more to be done.
And it's dawning on you like that the need for safety, for whatever it is that you're craving, is still not there, no matter how many marathons you're running. So, and that
I'm glad my inner wisdom saved me. Like my inner wisdom, before achieving anything like substantial, my inner wisdom was like, you will go there, you will not find love. And I used to think I'm a quitter. But yeah, I'm glad actually I didn't go down the road completely to everything I pursued. Waste of, because I didn't want that thing. I was just forcing myself to do it because I thought I will get the love and respect and appreciation out of, and my inner wisdom just would sabotage. And I was wondering why I sabotage, but because I had no genuine interest in any of the stuff I was doing.
What I got from this conversation was that I started a journey of self-exploration, who I am without doing, what makes me actually me. And that is like, how does that feel for other people to be in my energy, to be in my presence? What are they appreciating? And I was observing others as well, like, okay, my friends, like, I don't appreciate them because they are running a marathon or earning that amount of money or whatever, but what do I like about just their being and being in their presence? And then I played that game with myself. So I think this is like one solution, let's say, that we can all try more to become more of ourselves. And something that Fari, actually, I was talking to her yesterday, she brought to my awareness also between men. Let's say we meet someone new and we get insecure for some reason we don't even know. But we all have that feeling sometimes, right? There's a man in the room that we sometimes put on a pedestal as superior than us, or we are threatened by something, and then becoming insecure because of some competition inside that we don't even know what is it about. Do you relate with that?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. And what Fari was bringing to my attention, so fun that she's again in this podcast, even not sitting here, that it is because if that happens to me, it is because I don't see myself. I see you for what makes you amazing, and I compare myself and I try to be you. Let's say I see your muscles, you're working out a lot, and I'm getting insecure because I don't see myself and my own value in being what makes me myself. And all I can do is like, I need more muscles, and maybe I try to hide my body, or I try to gain more muscles so that I can be there. And I see you as a competitor. All of a sudden. If I see,
and we start to jump into compensation.
That's right. If I see you as blue and myself as orange, or I see you as this and myself as that, then we can just like meet each other from I am me, you are you. We're unique flowers. And I found that fascinating, this idea. I was really resonating with it. That the moment I become insecure is because I see something in you that I'm not even maybe aware what it is, but I want that same thing, and I feel inferior because I don't have it. So something about you that I admire, and then I feel I also need to get there so that I'm worth something while you're in the room. So this competition between men, I think also, especially when you have a similar interest and hobbies. So that's why I was so happy to invite you here today, because we met on this music event, and both of us just like playing together, and I felt like zero competition. I just felt like, let's have fun. Let's co-create. Let's serve the people who are there, because it was a kirtan, so about like others singing with us. And just that warmed my heart so much. And I feel the more of these kind of experiences I have, the more I drop that insecurity and competition, and it's just like the new idea of brotherhood. I think there's also this lone wolf syndrome in men still present, because we don't want to show our weak spots to other men, so that they don't take advantage of it.
And thank you for saying this. So this was coming up for me. It keeps coming up for me. Do you feel like I can add something?
Go.
I want to add two things. One is how you say, like, you notice my muscles, and it's very funny how men work. They enter the same room. This guy is saying, "Oh, this guy has muscles. I don't have muscles." And this guy thinking he's tall and short. No, and there is no man who's tall and muscles and money. And it just doesn't. Only in 50 Shades of Grey, maybe. And the other thing, so all of this happening secretly, like you said, they're not showing. I had a very interesting, this very small instance that took 10 seconds maybe, helped me a lot with men. It happened about 6 months ago. I was in a circling event. So we just talk from the heart, like a meditation, right? You know what circling is?
Yeah. You want to explain it briefly for...
you do the explanation, then I'll come back to the story.
Like a men's circle?
No, it was circling. Okay, I'll explain.
Maybe you need to explain.
Yeah. Okay.
Explain.
So circling is, it's not exclusive to any gender. So we come together and we sit around and we drop into a meditative state. Usually there is not even an introduction. And we just start talking from what is alive for us, from what's really in the moment. There is a power to the group. It's really hard to explain it here. I really recommend to anyone to really just please go, because you will discover so much about you.
Circling.
And I say something. I say, this silence is making me nervous. Like, this is alive for me in the moment. And someone might be triggered by me, and they're like, you trigger me with your nervousness. And then, or it can be like, oh, why do you feel nervous? I'm really curious. And it goes on and on and on.
Like authentic relating in a certain setup. In a circle.
In a circle. And everyone just says what is alive for them, or you stay. And one big thing about circling for me, and that's why I don't go regularly, I am very late at detecting what I'm feeling. That's why I was hugging that guy, and I detected it in the evening when I already got sick. If I don't feel what is alive for me and I don't say it, I will feel horrible later on. It's really punishing it's very rewarding if you keep saying what you're feeling, and it's punishing if you don't. If you sit on it, it's like you're swallowing your vomit, like disgusting example. So I'm sitting in this circle, and there is this guy. He goes to contact dance all the time. And so I do the Eros contact dance, the one on Tuesday. And it's like very sensual and very cuddly and very lovey and very safe. And I always told myself that this guy, wow, he's always dancing with the most beautiful girls. And I don't remember why in the circling I really felt like telling him that. So I look at him and I say, I envy you. All the time I see you in the dance with the most beautiful girls. And it makes me feel like I'm alone, I'm not worthy. And he says, that is so funny. I always look at you and I think, this guy is always dancing with the most beautiful girls. You even once, I came on a date with a girl and you danced with her the whole evening. Thank God I went with her home. I'm like, yeah, thank God. So this, I know it's a funny story. So this can be the answer, that when we feel this insecurity around men, and this is what 6 months ago this happened, and now I can tell you, I feel very short around you. And then maybe you'll tell me, oh, you have nice body, and then, I can relax. It's okay. It really helps if men start talking about what they admire in each other, rather than, oh, you didn't do anything with that girl. What's wrong with you? And
giving compliments to each other. I think that's definitely super important.
Yeah.
I do that more and more with men. Like, some of them are like reacting really weirdly, like,
Well, yeah.
I always go with that bathroom example. So thank you so much for sharing all this. I really relate. And I was also like only on one contact dance, I think the one where you saw me.
Yeah.
And I felt so much competition that I don't like it so much, actually. Because I felt like, exactly, like it feels like a bit like a dating pool, and you like when you go, like, competition is everywhere. Let's say you go to a dating event, and then you can like write the names, and in the end you get the numbers of the matches, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, how many numbers can I collect? Like, on how many dates can I go? And it's like,
and then you tell the other guy, how many dates did you get?
Yeah,
Oh, I got
right.
10.
right. And all we want is to just be loved, right? This is what it comes down to. Every man also just wants to be loved and nurtured and accepted. And I love that bathroom example. From what I hear, I've never been in a ladies' bathroom, but what you see in the movies and what female friends tell me, girls, you can verify that, by the way. Like whoever is watching, again, this is like this is my moment to invite you to comment, to ask questions, to contribute, to also to question what we are putting out here, because this is just really our opinion and what comes for you, what comes for
Our
me.
experience.
Yeah, it's not claiming any let's say teacher position. It's really just like what's coming through. So please participate, use this option to connect with us, and give this a thumbs up as well, to just help the algorithm that more and more people can find that, and subscribe obviously if you like this, and if you want to be informed about future episodes, and hit the, what's it called, the bell icon, the bell button, that you make sure that you really get notified. So ladies' bathroom. From what I hear, and so all the ladies, they can post underneath this video or audio. Girls go in and give compliments to each other. They talk. Can I borrow your lipstick? Oh, your hair looks fantastic. Oh, wait, did you get that dress? Right? And they're having conversations, and they're comforting each other.
You mean in the club?
For instance, or in a bar, like
where, the situation where there's
it's like kind of the ladies' bathroom is the safe area where women go to relax. There's no guy looking after them, and it's just like where they can just be, and motivate each other, support each other, and all that, right? And then we both know, obviously, how the men's bathroom looks like. You don't speak.
It's very creepy. It's very creepy.
It's very creepy. There, You don't speak. You go inside. You go to your pissoir.
I'm like,
you're holding.
You don't need to see the size of it.
You're trying not to look left and right, because someone else could have a bigger penis than you. So you're not risking that, right? Especially me, because
it's gonna ruin your night.
Because there's always this like barrier to not see,
it.
and I'm always above it.
You're that tall.
So they know I'm not gonna look, and so imagine in a guy's bathroom, you would look and like, really nice penis, and then you just and you go to the
you get a punch for that, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not faggot.
And then you're going to wash your hands and like, hey, you want to try my perfume, you know, like, and all these things. It's like, it's not happening,
no.
Right? But how amazing, how cool would it be if we could introduce that? If you really go into a men's bathroom and you choose just whoever's at the mirror to give them a compliment and say like, man, your shirt looks really great today. Or like, I love what you did with your hair. Do you always do it like this? It's like most men will probably react irritated, because this is what they actually looking for. Something I keep coming up with is that what we didn't get enough growing up in childhood is what we pretend we don't need as adults.
Yes, because it's a good protection. I don't need, like, you walk away from what was not given to you, so you're not the loser. You're not denied.
Right. So when we have resistance towards something nice, like a compliment, it usually means that there's a pain, a wound behind it that we try to avoid to feel. Right. So it's like, are you gay or whatever, and like pushing that person away. And so I'm very happy. Like, I can really receive compliments. Like the one with the size, I'm really working on it, because it's not like an achievement, you know, like men telling me. I was the other day sitting here with someone much smaller than you, a guy, and he was also commenting on that, like that he's really insecure because I'm so tall. And it's like, I mean, my compassion would say like, okay, what can I do for you to feel more comfortable in my presence? Because I'm not gonna like cut my legs, you know, or So it's
I have to say, nothing is an achievement. Like, this is my addition to it. I work out. It's not an achievement. It's how I am built.
That's just what you like to do.
It's just what I like. There is nothing makes me above you. Like, I just do it so naturally. Even when there is no gym, I just start doing push-ups. And someone is not like that. Someone is reading books all the time, and I'm like, I'm not
This
reading
person's more
enough.
smart than me.
Yeah, but that's how we're built.
Yeah.
This is why I don't see a point in sports competition.
Yeah.
It's really useless. Like, what for? This person was built, and his story and everything lined up for him to become the fastest runner in the world. It's not because it doesn't take away from who he is. Like, he's great, he's good, but the idea of a competition doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't prove anything. Or like a boxer who was great, and like when they're 38, someone who's like now 20 will come and beat them, but we cannot bring this guy back to 20 years old to. It just doesn't make sense.
I think we can really learn so much from women here.
Yeah.
Like how, like about the complimenting, I'm still coming back to that. Like when getting to know a new guy, why don't we say what we appreciate about each other, right?
Yeah, and this guy that said, "Oh, every time I see you dancing with the most," he is the most pleasant guy for me to see on the dance floor.
All right.
And we have these inside jokes. I'm like, I see you, and I feel my heart fills with love, and I feel safe.
Yeah.
And I could maybe in the future, all the men on the dance floor, I'll have such a relationship with.
Yeah. So sharing your insecurities with other guys.
Yeah.
And if they are, let's say, in your vibration of heart openness, then they will just appreciate that. And be vulnerable also, and just everybody can relax, right?
Yeah.
And so making compliments, I'm just like trying to recap. So making compliments, sharing your insecurities, competing with yourself and not with others.
Yeah.
And just like for your own evolution, let's say. And something that is really, really coming to me again is get your love first. Like what makes you feel loved? What gives you that sensation of belonging, and get that first without doing. Yeah, like I have a
how we talk to ourselves.
Wait, so I'll give you an example. I used to have a client, and in one session he was coming, like a therapy client. So, and he was coming with, I have this new business and I have not yet figured out the strategy. I was like, yeah, fair enough. It's a new business, a new challenge. So very obvious that you haven't yet figured it out. He said like, but I need a structure, like really bad. He was very like mad about it. I was like, okay, let's go with that. So why do you need the structure? He said like, so I can make money from it. Okay. And why is that important for you right now? You have other incomes. Like, why do you need to, you just started this? Like, why is it so important for you with the money? It's like, if I don't make, or again, before it was like, I'm not successful. If I don't have a structure, I'm not successful. And then I don't have money. And if I don't have money, then I'm not a man. If I'm not successful, then I'm not a man. That's the connection. And if I'm not a man, then I don't get love. Then I'm not lovable. So all the way back to, he's just started something new, a new challenge.
Yeah.
And because he doesn't have figured it out yet, he doesn't feel deserving of love. This is how far we have come. And I was relating with that so much. And like many men I shared that with, they can totally relate to that, right? If I am in my masculine energy and I put a plan on my agenda and I haven't yet figured it all out, or I'm not like walking that path like straight. No path is ever straight. But if we don't have that feeling of like, okay, I have it all figured out.
Kind of linear movement.
Yeah, the linear idea. I do this first and then that and then that, and then I will have $1 million and whatever. So, and what I was suggesting to this client is what I was bringing up now again. Get the love first. Get the love first. Yeah. This is what almost every achievement is about. We try to become subconsciously good enough for love.
Yeah.
So, and I do that experiment with myself, because right now I'm building a program, and sometimes I'm just feeling really lonely and crappy with my laptop alone and like recording videos and editing PowerPoints. I'm like, nah. And when that kicks in, I try to remind myself, I even write it on my arm sometimes, you already have love. Love is now, here now. Yeah. Reminding myself that no matter what comes out of that course, no matter if I'm gonna sell it, no matter how many people are gonna buy it, no matter even if I finish it, I already have people in my life who love in my life who love me. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Isn't that something where you can relax, right? Yeah. I can really see that effect. Yeah. Like, and if more and more men come to that place of like, I am deserving of love already, no matter how many muscles, how much money, how tall, how many books I read, or how many titles I have. or how many women I slept with. I already am lovable just as I am.
Yeah.
And how do I feel loved? To make that really a self-responsible quest. What makes me feel loved?
One thing that helped me make this change, because this is not, it is easy, but it's also a lot of work, is I cut out a lot of men out of my life. When I noticed the competition thing, like I was getting injured in the gym all the time. And like I mentioned to you in the beginning, I sat with these guys and they were like, I slept with 500 women, I slept with 200. And I just started removing these guys out of my life. And finding guys like this guy who was like, oh, I see you always with the beautiful girls, good job. And it made me a more awesome person. Like I feel good. If I feel bad, I can just, yo man, I feel bad. What do I do? I will hear something loving. I will hear something nice. These guys, we can go to the bathroom in a club, which we will not do, but and I will feel good there. Maybe I'll probably feel in the bathroom better than outside in the wild, wild west. That is the club. Yeah, that's just one thing that came to me. Of course, there is many other things to do to get the love first. But it helps to be around people who love themselves for who they are.
Yeah.
Or who are trying at least to love themselves for who they are.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. And it's not about copying them. It's about tapping into the frequency of who am I? Because they are on the frequency of who are they.
Yes.
So the authenticity, basically, right?
Yeah. The authenticity. Even when he felt insecure, he was okay to share it.
Yeah.
We're not complete, right? We're not perfect. But like having this, like, man, I feel insecure. Can we talk a minute? And you being open to it. Then we can not only stay in each other's lives, but really contribute to each other's lives. And we will be better to our women, like our female friends and our mothers and sisters and our beloved.
Yeah. That's why I love also to be in men's circles and to facilitate men's circles, because every guy is struggling with the same things.
Yes.
It's always the same topics. It's confidential, so we're not going to bring it up here.
No.
But it's fascinating. And when you can meet each other from that place of like, okay, I got you. I'm your brother. You're my brother. We can be father for each other and hold each other in whatever is there. And not the moment you're vulnerable. It's like, yep. Okay, so I'm on top, but now, you're down. I give you my hand, right?
Yeah. And I don't hide when I'm down, right? Pretend that all is good.
Yeah. So that the
and get addicted and get addicted to achievements that don't bring me any joy, like sleeping with more women without any joy or anything for me out of it, or writing books maybe, right?
I was also coming up with like jealousy, I think, like in traditional monogamous relationships, when a guy becomes jealous of a woman looking at another guy, it's probably also then the competition between the guys, right? Like, what do I see in that guy that I don't see in myself? So I feel like inferior.
What will he bring her that I did not give her? That's a big topic though.
Like, again, let's go with the fitness. So maybe I got a belly and I'm with my partner and she's like interested in you and talking with you, and I'm like looking down, and then maybe it's not even why she's interested in you, maybe but I'm making that up, from this
your insecurity. You will
So I personally see jealousy as a beautiful tool for self-exploration and healing. It's not something to avoid. Obviously, consideration in a relationship is important, that you don't like constantly consciously trying to make the partner jealous. That's also not really nice. But
women are so smart at that. The first thing they do when we feel jealous, I've been married for 10 years, is she will show me how I am enough. She'll be like, what are you jealous about? You are smart. They're really good at that.
Oh, that's beautiful. So
like she'll be like, oh, this guy is funny, haha. But you're funny than him, like, funnier. Okay. They're really good at this.
So beautiful. Yeah, the reassurance part in the relationship, right?
Yeah, it's all good. It's okay. I am the best. Well, maybe even you see, like maybe she's playing on something I need to heal. Like I don't need to feel the best. I just need to feel enough. So now this conversation brought me to that.
I don't need to feel the best. I just need to feel enough.
Yeah, like I don't need to be funnier than the guy. I just need to be enough.
There's so many people who are the best in their field and who still don't feel enough.
Yeah, Yeah. And imagine if you don't need to feel the best. You don't need to be the best. Like, maybe you can be, maybe you are. You don't need.
Yeah. The enough. This is really.
And you might write a book. Like I'm talking to you now, and there is so much to you. But when you get to writing a book, you will write it from the right place. It's not because you want to be published. You will not give a shit about being published author. You will just be like, I want to share this so much.
Yeah. Now, yes. At that point,
Yeah.
when a publisher came to me and wanted to do that book, I was like, actually already on the way to burning out. But I said yes to it because it was an amazing opportunity to become a published author. And like, so they're gonna do the layout and everything, and I'm gonna get paid for this for sure because it's going like through Amazon or whatever. And then like writing that book, and partly I was also enjoying it. It's a tutorial book, and I'm a very like structured person. I used to be a mathematician and like really think in structures a lot. So it was really, I'm also proud of that book, just for what it offers, and people like it and find it helpful. It's amazing. But at the same time, there was underlying and undermining that really this pain of not being good enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the moment it was actually in my hands, published and printed, I was like, nah.
Yeah. What's next?
Yeah.
That's
next? Right. What's next? Yeah. If we're not yet believing that we're good enough, there's always the question, what's next?
Yeah.
And if we believe we are enough, there's still the question, what is next? But it comes from a playfulness, not from a serious craving for love.
Yeah. And even when there is no alive for you now in the moment and next, you can just relax. You can enjoy, you can be in the feminine or be with the feminine. Be like,
yeah. Or maybe not even calling it masculine and feminine. Like, why are these concepts so important? Just
not
one,
so much.
one aspect of me that is more flowing, easy and joyful and inspired. And maybe you can call that feminine aspect.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Be in the flow more. Yeah. And there is something, when you asked me first to do this talk, I know this talk, I wanted to do this talk because it's so good for humanity. I don't know if it's going to reach humanity. I hope, please, share it to everyone.
Yes, again.
It's really good for humanity. I grew up in a city. I grew up in Dubai. They finish building the tallest building. They start building a taller one. And if you look at this from relationship, I know we don't like these constructs so much.
And we all know what towers symbolize, right?
Yes, penetration, right? Like, I have basically the city that has the biggest penis.
Yeah.
And this reflects on our relationship with nature. Like capitalism and trade and commerce and success are masculine aspects. And we bring that to nature, which is feminine, nourishing, like we are in this view. And we can relax. And we start just removing forests and building and removing beauty. And the whole planet is becoming that. Even when we talked about competition and sport and how I think it's really useless, we are bringing women to that now. Like women in the cities, they are like competing in offices there. And it's sad. And maybe it will start just with self-love. Like, I am enough, I'm good. And surrounding ourselves with people who would tell us, I admire you for this, I admire you for that. Not something that I'm achieving, just I admire your being.
Yeah.
And then we will be nicer to the environment and we will be nicer to the women. And hopefully to ourselves.
To fellow brothers, to everyone.
Yeah. We need a world that is less like capitalist, less competitive.
They say like, I read that more than once, for a healthy human to stay healthy, you need at least 12 hugs a day. How many people get that? How many singles get that? Right.
Yeah, it's true. Even how many married people get that? I got one hug this morning and now she's at a training and I will not see her until the evening. We'll get another one. And I hugged you, right? So that's
3.
Okay. We're making progress.
Yeah. So that's let me feel into it. Is there something else coming for you about that whole, from competition to compassion?
From competition to compassion. You can call this episode that.
Right? Yeah, from competition to compassion.
I feel I feel our world is really out of balance. I'm sure a lot of people feel that. Like there is a lot of fire element in our world, less water. How we treat the environment. We live in Bali. We're seeing. I've been in Bali 5 years. And I've seen how many rice fields gone to build some fancy hotels, how many forests gone to build resorts and restaurants. And I see masculine approach in that.
Yeah.
Like the forest with its flowy, nourishing, gone for a concrete structure. We need masculine in the world. It's not like we off with the men, off with their heads. We don't need them. No, but we are leaning more to the masculine. Even we are bringing women. We are shaming women for not being masculine.
That's right.
And we're shaming men who want to be. And me and you are like aspired musicians. I cannot call myself a great musician. I'm not a musician at all.
Passionate musician.
Yeah, I'm passionate about music, and that's so much in the flow. And we need this balance. And I hope this conversation, and I approach this conversation, I really don't know anything. Even this is not a conclusion. And I approached this conversation to know more about myself and to know about the topic. So I don't have an answer. And yeah, if you do have an answer, you can. I don't think anyone has an answer. It's just like in every step, in every day, every minute, we can think, are we doing things in balance or are we leaning more towards the masculine, which is hurting us and hurting everyone else around us? Yeah.
I recently heard from one of the coaches I'm working with, if you know what a Venn diagram is, when you have like circle and another circle and they're overlapping on some point.
And there is the shared area.
And there's a shared area. You call that a Venn diagram. And he suggested one circle can be spontaneity, creativity, and the other circle can be structure, planning.
Yes.
And the overlap is flow.
Yeah. And that's what jamming is, right? We practice at home, structure.
Yeah. And jamming is a good example.
Yeah. And jamming is where they meet.
That's right. Having some kind of a, like also for this, I bought the microphones, I have a stand for the camera, and I have an eye on the time that we don't overextend it or whatever. There is some element of structure here, and telling people to subscribe. So I try to implement that as well, because sometimes it's easy to get carried away, and that's so beautiful. And I experienced this with you again today, of just like riding the wave, standing on two sides of the surfboard on the same wave, and just like whatever wants to unfold on that day can unfold. So thank you so much for that. And to then sometimes hold the frame for that flow to happen.
Yeah. Masculine is needed. Someone needed to make the surfboard, right? You needed to learn the skill to ride the surfboard. Then when you're surfing, you just flow.
I think I'm pretty complete from my side. How do you feel?
Yeah. I am complete. So something funny is coming to me.
Yeah.
And it's to the audience, to the people listening or watching. If you feel like leaving a comment and complimenting us for anything, this is what I felt. I closed my eyes and I was like, I would like some compliments. This is when you ask me, are you complete? No, I want compliments.
Okay.
So go for it. Would be duly appreciated.
You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Singing and speaking. You make me feel very joyful and open. Like I was listening to this voice message of yours today, and I instantly felt more like myself, and I can relax and just be.
Thank you. That's nice to hear. It's been coming recently very often. I think I am open to compliments. Many people are, and not like this before. Or maybe my ears were shut. Like people are just like, I heard you sing the other day, your voice is beautiful. I saw you do Yeah.
Yeah, if you believe it, then you're like, thank you so much for seeing it.
Yeah. And we never fully believe it, right? Like we flawed. I'm working on it. Like hearing it helps my inner work. Like we're basically supporting each other. Sometimes I think, my voice is not nice today. I cannot sing. And then you come and say, I like your voice. And then, and then I reciprocate. And it helps. Right?
I
guess.
Yeah, tapping in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm just super curious about what you guys have to say and to add. And thanks if you're still here, if you're still online, if you're still watching. And yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming here, brother.
Thank you.
And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Blessings. Have an amazing rest of your day.